yo.
What up?
It is what it is.
237, baby.
Place like home. Catch us on the Stoop. And today, we got we let the guests introduce themselves. So tell the people who you are.
Peace and greetings. This is Emily MC,
Yes.
raw poet, hip hop creative, author.
Author, that's a good one. What
That's
about
the first time I ever said that.
That's the first time?
That's the first time I ever said that.
It came out natural.
Thank
you. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yes, a published author.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Word.
That got a pretty ring to it.
It's got a lovely ring to it. Thank you. Speaking of rings.
And she got on bamboo earrings, at least two.
250.
Oh, my bad.
She got on one pair.
I know. God,
That's
Lee,
true. I know, right?
I'm just saying, you know.
It's an MC thing, baby.
I know.
It's a hip hop thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
She been quoting all day. She been saying a lot of quotes.
I love hip hop so much.
Yeah.
Like,
now,
so much.
with you saying that, hip hop, we believe that hip hop it's in everything that we do.
That's a fact.
Especially not only everything that we do, even in the world today.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
so
people take that for granted.
Yes.
I promise they do. I've been saying that so much.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't even before it was 50 years and yes, let's all get together. It's like people don't understand that hip hop changed the world in less than 50 years. This is a very unique energy, like on planet Earth. Nothing ever in human existence has done what hip hop has done. And I feel like people really take that for granted.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like you said, it's in business, it's in infrastructure, it's in sports, it's in arts and crafts, it's in culinary arts, it's in education. I mean, everywhere. Even things that have nothing to do with hip hop at all are using hip hop language, hip hop slang, hip hop style, hip hop fashion. The black and brown melanin tone people and traditions of hip hop, you can't escape it. So
it's crazy because not only does it resonate with us, you know, because of course, you know, we grew up in hip hop,
right?
But worldwide,
yes.
Because if I'm not mistaken, you are from Uganda.
I am. I was born there.
Yes. So to be born somewhere else and come to America, I'm sure that the influence, because we've had people come through and they're like, yo, I go to other countries, they don't speak no English, but they know every lyric in the line.
So you asking her how did she fall in love with hip hop?
I do. I want to know how she fell in love.
Smooth. That's a nice toss. That was a smooth toss right there.
This guy got it.
Professional.
Yes.
Like,
This is what he
I
do.
see why he's sitting on
That's, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He on top. You see him on top, right? He on top.
Top of the pyramid.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, so it's amazing because born in Uganda, came here, me, my mother, and my father. I was a baby, 2 years old. That's like 1990. And the first place we touched down from was Harlem. Harlem, New York City.
Yeah.
And Harlem, New York City, 1990, for those who may not be familiar. This is like, we're out of the crack era, but it's still a little crazy.
Yeah.
It's still a little crazy. And gentrification has not taken over yet, but the seeds are being planted. So it's a very like kind of vulnerable time. But the thing is that I describe it in the book actually as like, for me, it was like ghetto Disney World. Because hip hop was coming at me from everywhere and multiple senses. Like music was blasting everywhere, and then because it's Harlem, Brooklyn has the same thing too. Like it's not just hip hop music that's blasting out the cars and out the houses. It's jazz, people blasting jazz, gospel on a Sunday, bachata, merengue, salsa, soca, calypso, dancehall, reggae.
Culture, it was culture.
The culture is there. Then there's still mom and pop shop that are selling music, physical music. I caught the tail end of people still taping radio shows on cassettes, like off the radio onto cassettes. So I was like, huge. Hot 97 was still hot at the time. Rest in peace, Mr. C, because he was one of my favorite DJs. I was so hooked into DJ K Slay, also rest in peace. Mr. C, just so many DJs. And I went to school actually with the stepson of DJ Red Alert.
Okay.
I was actually in my first rap group with him.
Okay.
Really funny. So to answer your question, when did I first fall in love with hip hop? I've thought about this question so many times, and I'm still gonna have to really like sit quietly with I'm gonna have to go to a top of a mountain, a top of a stoop maybe, and sit quietly and meditate, because I remember when hip hop first became personal to me, and that was a loving moment, and that was when I first jumped into a rap cipher ever, and I was in the 5th grade. So that's like 10, 11 years young. And I was like the only girl in the room. A couple snuck in, but all the guys that were huddled up were my best friends.
Yes.
And I was just wondering what they was doing. And then I found them having a cipher, and I had never seen a cipher before at all, ever. Never even heard one. So I was like, what are they doing? And then I started listening, and I was hearing very talented young men. Not even young men, because we're 10 and 11. So very talented young boys spitting and like all different styles.
Yes.
Like a little mini Nas, a little mini Ghostface, a little mini, you know what I'm saying? And they're spitting. And then because they're my friends, and I'm known as like a smart person, and I'm cool and everything, they let me chill out. But I know that whatever they can do, I can do. So I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think I could do it. And I think I could do it better than some of them too. So without having any pretense, no, nothing, I was writing poetry and short stories and like little notes, but I didn't even know how to write a rhyme yet. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, I hear what's going on. I hear how they're piecing things together. Okay. And the move the crowd element was there, even though I didn't know what it was. And then I just moved to the front a little bit, you know, because you know you gotta position yourself physically. You know what I'm saying? For those who know, there's an etiquette going on. You know what I'm saying? So I just position myself, move my elbows a little bit, and then as soon as I seen a moment, I tucked in there and I hit 2 bars clean. And everybody said, oh, oh. And it wasn't even crazy. It was just, I literally put words together that rhymed and made sense. That was it. And that had some kind of
that smartness kicked in, huh?
That was that intelligence. And then everybody was like, I think everybody was more so amazed at the audacity of me to even step forward, and then the skill to put it together like I was there the whole time and knew what was going on. But that reaction and being a part of that energy and being in the circle and us having segued this into this room, like just stop life to have hip hop, it made it so personal to me. And it made it of just like, wow, this is an energy. This is like, you can construct a world, a life, a profession. I didn't know it at the time, but a profession out of this. And I went on to meet, and his name is George Mims.
Okay.
Also from Harlem, and then the third guy was his name is Brandon, but his rap name was Flawless.
Okay.
And he was like the nicest in the school, like the nicest.
Yeah.
And me and him had in common, we always walked around with notebooks. But now he was like, okay, let me show you how to put bars. You got to count the bars. You got to do it like this. And so every day we would get together and we would write. Then we started spitting, getting our little routines together, coming up with names.
What's the name of the group?
Oh, don't ask
Just
us.
She gave us their names.
Yeah, it was horrible.
What was the name of the group?
That was kind of what led to the downfall of the group, is we couldn't agree on the name.
Everybody like, nah, that one ain't popping.
They was like, somebody was like, we should just do an acronym of our letters, B, E, and G, like BEG territory. And I was like, that's fucking horrible. Sorry. That's fucking corny as hell.
That's corny.
That is corny as hell.
So
and then,
question.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off.
You good.
What happened when you took this music at home, like this new culture at home, to let your parents hear it, and how they accept it?
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
Because you kind of smart.
Yeah,
we're gonna say you kind of smart. And you over there doing this hip hop and the bebop stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? I know the parents was like, what's going on?
And not to say that hip hop is unintelligent.
Yes, not in no form. But
we're saying yes. Foreign elements sometimes don't go over well, right? And then also how hip hop is being presented from one way or another may not be the best way to show a parent as the new. Totally get it. Yeah. So Little Emily MC didn't bring hip hop home. She did not.
She said, "Yo, I'm gonna keep the book tucked."
We're just gonna hold that for a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Because just like the cipher, it's timing. It's time. You gotta. There's a timing to it. But the thing about that too was like they were playing so much music in the house, and I thank God for that because I didn't realize that was not a normal thing. Like that everybody didn't grow up in a house where music is just played. Because they played so much music, and I mean all types, disco.
I need to ask. You know families that don't play music in their house?
Yes, they don't, and they might have like music there, but it's not played.
Yes.
They might have a stereo, but it's not on. You know, and it's not like a fabric of how they move through. Like maybe they do the Sunday cleaning music, maybe, and that's the one time, but it's not like a fabric of their lives. You know, and I didn't realize that was not normal. That just didn't seem. Especially even in Uganda, like it's such a musical place, such a musical place. And then here it was like I said, it's coming out the cars, it's blasting out the hallways. It's there's street things, there's park jams, there's So what were we saying?
Well, he was asking you
when you
parents.
Yes, right. So on one hand, it was like there was so much music going on at home. I, being a music head, was also still so fascinated with the records that my parents were playing. So it's like I didn't even have time to like introduce hip hop in the house because there was still so much music for me to explore from them. But yeah, so it became like that was whenever I was leaving the house. It was hip hop.
Or I mean, you got the headphones with a Walkman, a Sony Walkman on. Like, I see y'all later, Mom and Dad. That's when the hip hop come on. When you hit the Walkman and you getting ready to hit the street.
But they listen. Parents know, man. They know her beat. They know her bop was a little off. Like, wait, that's not the bop.
I'm like, oh, she a little different, right?
She's a little different.
Yeah. She got something going on. Something going on with her.
Yeah. So definitely, like in the TV film of my life, it's gonna look like that. But it definitely because I didn't, we were a struggling small little immigrant family, in burnt out New York. So I didn't have headphones, and you know what I'm saying, I didn't even have it like that at the time. So I literally, which is kind of nice too because it allowed me to get cultural information in a very organic way from people, from elders, from other kids,
that's home base first. You got to take care of home first and then spread.
But I will say that the jig became up because I was already dancing and doing a lot of performing arts stuff and a lot of things in Harlem. There's so many events and things that take place. But I had joined a performing arts and leadership training group that's based out of Harlem called Impact Repertory Theater. And they had rapping as one of their things in their show. It was founded by Black Panthers and Black arts movement activists. So it was like a leadership element and self-development and community service. But then we had like a 7-hour rehearsal day every week, singing, dancing, acting, public speaking, global awareness, and rapping. And then it's a show, a traveling show. So when you see it, it's 2 choruses, singing background vocals, people in the front doing solos, dancers in the middle, spoken word interstitials, rappers doing solos and rap pieces. So I became a part of this group, and then eventually, because you got to go through a boot camp, this whole thing. But once I became in the group and we're doing shows, now I'm actually out in public doing at least 50 shows a year. That breaks down to at least a show a week. And I'm out here rapping and doing all these other things. So it became kind of clear, or people will be like, "Oh man, your daughter is so."
I saw your daughter. You saw my daughter.
Like you mentioned.
By that time, it became proud moments. So it's different. It's a different. Like, wow, people really take into what my daughter's doing. So now it's more supportive.
Because then the other thing is, I didn't realize how normal it was that art is not an acceptable skill set to a lot of people and a lot of parents, which I understand because the security of a creative career is questionable, yada yada. But I'm just saying, like you said, with so many people coming up to you telling you,
yes,
You're doing it nice.
talented, she's doing this, and then with the leadership element, it's like having to be responsible, call times, show times, rehearsals, meetings, and then it's founded by Black Panthers, like I said. So we're doing free breakfast. We got to set that up. We're training other kids. It's a each one reach one type of thing. So you have a higher minded young person who's creatively talented. I would only hope you value that, you know.
Well, that brings us back to 2024 now with the art, and everything that's going on with hip hop, the craft.
Yes, sir.
So now you can sit out with your chest out and be like, you know what? What I was doing, this is what we did.
It all came
From
together.
graffiti, everything. They just take all of our art and crafts and just glorify it.
Listen, that's a fact.
They have definitely found a way to capitalize on every culture, everything within our culture. That's the one thing that, you know, when you look at it, you know, we all create the culture, but we don't control it. And those are some of the biggest things that, you know, while we sitting down, you know, you rapping, you dancing, you drawing, whatever you are that you're doing and being you, we want people to have more control.
Right.
Yes.
Control.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so thankful for that experience with the group, is because it showed me the business side, the management side, the programming side, the tech side. So we were also responsible for technical supportive theater. So at 12 years old, or young I should say, I already knew what an XLR cable was, how to set up mics, what's the difference between a speaker and a monitor, what's the value of an audio engineer, you know. And then when you go out to each of these venues and you have these sound checks, you realize that when you go to a show, it's not just a show, it's a tech person, it's an audio engineer in the venue, venue engineer, there's a director of the show, there's a producer of the show, there are writers maybe for segments, there are wardrobe people, makeup. There's a lot of different jobs and careers and aspects to what makes the entertainment and media that we see come alive. So that also helped me to, a long story short, in my segue into media and production, because I became more interested in audio engineering and started interning and doing stuff at studios, recording studios in the Bronx and in Brooklyn. And then video editing and videography, jumped into that, camera in my hand, figuring it out. And then started getting jobs, like actual jobs at companies, corporations, to work on their content and media. And so it's like I wouldn't have gotten there without hip hop ushering me through those skill sets and knowledge bases. And I think that's also something people underestimate. Like, we're also creating economies. And just like you said about the control part, that was a huge issue for so long. And I'm one of those people who, I want to rotate in solutions. I want to rotate in making problems obsolete.
Yeah.
So even like in writing this book, Pharoah Monch wrote the foreword. Shout out to Pharoah Monch.
Yes.
And all the people who love and respect Pharoah Monch as an elite MC, but also just as a mega-minded, creative person and someone with integrity, you know, like a good person, good man. It's like we're controlling what we can control and creating new rules. So we create our own economies now. The Wahida Clark's Innovative Publishing, Black woman publisher, started writing in prison, starting her publishing company really in prison. Awesome. Each one teach one thing. Like, once you know how to do something, you teach it to somebody else, and now she's a 4-time New York Times bestseller.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So who says it has to be what they say it is, you know?
And who says it has to go by this set of rules?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Who says it had to go in that direction?
Exactly.
That's right. I mean, so MCing came almost naturally to you. Is it because you was doing poetry? Is it, or because I know, you know, poetry, you know, is very similar to when you write, when you inking a rhyme, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, but it's similar.
Agree. Right.
You know, so was it kind of, not gonna say easier, but was it a lot less complicated to kind of like go from poetry to, you know what I'm saying, writing a rhyme and being in so many ciphers. Because you like cipher, like Miss Cipher.
I love the cipher.
You love the cipher.
It's like, I think that's what was the lethal combination. It was like, started reading and writing early. So for those of you who have small children, like, get them reading and writing as early as possible, and speaking and having conversation, even if they don't speak words back, converse with them. So that the poetry and just writing streams of consciousness, writing down observations, what's going on in my neighborhood, what's going on between my parents, because unfortunately they had a divorce before I even made it to double digits, so that was a great outlet for me. But then the performing arts with the group, so it's like a formal thing, and I understand like how songs and things, pieces, theatrical pieces come together. But then being a fan of battle rap, being a fan of the cipher itself, that added a spice to the dish that makes it, in my opinion, very lethal, because there's an energy in hip hop, period. But then once you start getting into the layers of it, there's an energy in battle rap that is very unique, very, very unique, and very potent, and very hinged on human connection, and like almost concentrating, having wit and imagination and timing and performance ability and delivery. So it's like a hyper magnification of the hip hop element of MCing just in battle rap.
It takes up a lot of personal space though in battle rap. Yes. Like there's a lot of personal space. Like some of those punchlines be a lot of, I mean,
very crazy. Listen, somebody asked me, I think I don't know if I didn't write about it in the book, but it's on the website as a trivia question on my website, because somebody asked me to be in a battle rap league before. They saw me perform at an open mic and they asked me. And I thought it was just a usual, like, yeah, just come be a part and we'll figure out, who you'll go against, and you just come and you just do you. But nah, they had a whole like vision for me, like being in the, which has happened to me a lot. I don't, it's one of those things, like some people see you and they see how they can utilize you. Not use and abuse you, but how they can utilize you to maybe show other people a lesson, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this person said, I want you to come to battles wearing like wigs and very exaggerated acrylic nails, maybe contacts in your eyes, something. And I want you to rhyme about like the beauty standards in the black community and in entertainment, and about like the whole bad bitch scene. And by the end of each battle, I want you to remove. He's telling me this.
Yeah. He got a whole.
This is part of like
script.
before the contract. He's saying this is what it is. This is the deal. At every battle, I want you to remove the wig.
So now they can see who you are. They can see the beauty.
I want you to remove
the nails. Oh, he had a whole joint.
Thing. He's like at every battle, and we'll take you. And this was based. It was like based in the South, so it would be a traveling thing. So we'd be like going to territories doing this.
Yeah.
And I was just imagining like the demand on me doing this, having this reveal moment. First of all, I have to create that lyrically.
Yes.
Like I have to create that moment each time for each opponent and each environment. And then I have to physically put the contacts in my eyes, all this. And then I have to physically remove the wigs and everything each time and deal with all the variables that could pop up. I was like, and I don't know if y'all gonna really support me in the demand of what that is about. So I don't know about all that, but I'm flattered that the utility is such that you're just like, this is a gem, and what we can do with this gem is like blaze a trail of like doing this thing that's never been done before. And so again, to your point of just like,
and you're nice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I couldn't do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why he said it.
It's not an issue of like whether or not I can do it. It's like, do I really want to do it?
Yes.
And are y'all gonna support me the way I need to be supported to do something like that?
So did you do it?
I did not do it.
Okay, then.
Now I got a question there, because now he wanted you to be this. He wanted you to use some props. props.
Yes.
He wants you to use some props.
That's
Now,
professional of you to say. Yes.
yes. Now, with you turning that down, I saw you are a professional wrestling trainee.
Yes, I am.
Now,
What?
I just went to practice yesterday.
Yo, you don't want to show them guns. You don't want to show them guns.
So let me keep my.
Oh, okay. She got guns, cuz.
She said she ain't going here to intimidate
She
nobody.
body slammed somebody.
For real?
Listen,
Oh, you should have told me that before. Hold on. Hold on.
Nah, I ain't want
shout
you to
out
bring
to
no
Gleason's
weaponry,
Gym
man.
in Brooklyn, man.
Oh, you trained at Gleason.
Gleason's Gym, boxing gym in Brooklyn. We have one wrestling ring that is owned by WWE Hall of Famer Johnny Rods. And the World of Unpredictable Wrestling, that's the moniker. And I've been training there. I'm going to have 200 days in pretty soon, but
Nice.
I have been training in professional wrestling.
For
Now-
what though?
now-
Wait,
now-
hold on. For what? For what?
Except for what?
Are you gonna fight?
Yeah, I've already done a couple shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, a couple people asked me, so like, do you want to go pro? I'm like, hell yeah.
Cause I just saw WWE. They had like a 2-day WrestleMania.
Is that pro though? That's pro?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's
pro?
the top. That's the top company.
It is?
Not you know the Greco,
That's the NBA of
Greco wrestling and stuff like that. That really isn't. That's Olympic stuff.
That's they
that's
call it
Olympic stuff.
amateur.
But WWE is pro. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was act. I mean, I don't know.
So you telling me
I'm telling you,
you can body slam? Can you do a pile driver?
I have not yet done a pile driver.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Have you ever went to the top of the rope?
You climb on those ropes?
I actually climbed the rope yesterday. I was doing a bunch of left
How's the
drops.
view up there?
Oh my God, it's crazy. It's so crazy. It's exhilarating, actually. Well, for me. And even one time, a guy, real big guy, probably 6'4", 6'5", he took me up in a choke slam, and I'm in the air, I'm being choked, and I wrapped my legs around him and turned my body around. So now I'm facing this way and he's facing that way too. And I took my body down and rolled down and wrapped him up in a pin on the floor.
Oh yeah.
But from going from the choke slam where I'm 6 feet up in the air and then turning around and having to dive down, that dive was crazy. That's the craziest I've ever felt. But I was like, we trained safety first, so that's one. And then two, it was like, I knew I could do it. And then when I did it, it was like, whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's okay.
That's different.
It's a little easier for me because before, maybe a little bit after, but around the same time I was in that group from 12 years of age, I was doing tackle football. And then I segued into boxing, like regular boxing for a bit. So I had that as an athletic background. And then I was dancing for the longest. So all those things, plus always being into weightlifting and just being in the Cypress, or already having faced the whole male-dominated thing, it was like I had less fear about it and more of a belief in what my body could do. And also just a playfulness. Like, I seen a meme that said, niggas be hating because I can experience childlike wonder. I'm like, yeah, I still do. And it's part of my optimism. It's part of my healing.
Yeah.
It's part of who I am. Like, imagination is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Creative intelligence is a very valuable thing. In fact, I quote a study in my book that from the ages of 5 to about 30, they did this study on creative intelligence, and the 5-year-olds, 98% of the 5-year-olds scored at the highest creative intelligence. The same test given to people aged 30, 2%. So the society isn't designed to support creative intelligence, and if you are able to remain creative, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate being able to take that with me from hip-hop to business to the ring.
The ring now.
To the ring.
The ring. You say you got like 200, what you say, hours in, or 200?
I'm approaching 200 days training in the ring.
Now, and how long does it take you to go pro then?
It's my trainer would say Diamond Pie. He's in his early 80s, bless his heart. Hey Johnny. Yeah, he's like, it's
I looked up looking for Johnny.
80, okay.
Oh, I love him so much. Yeah, we're so blessed to have people, in advanced age. It's such a
Shout out to Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny Rod. He's a WWE Hall of Famer. He got his ring in '96, and he was in the business. He was a champion before any of our parents were probably even dating. Not to age you, not respectfully, sir. Because he still gets in the ring sometimes with us, and flips us around, and it's not a game.
Johnny is serious.
It's a serious game.
I want to give that a shout out to the quote. Never judge a book by its cover. Because run up on her if you want to.
Run up on her if you want to.
Listen, it's so funny because I used to think even when I was just playing football, I used to I'm such a a lot of people know me as a very nice person, just very warm and kind, and that's cool.
That's what I see. Soft, warm, kind.
Thank you.
Gentle.
That's nice,
all
right?
Nice words, yes.
Yeah.
But when she get behind the line, she like this.
She's going up. She's going up.
I always used to wonder.
I want him. Well, I'm sorry.
It's but I grew up around so many roughnecks, man. It's not a game. And then
hip hop, roughneck. Y'all know hip hop. Y'all know what roughneck is.
Like I said, Harlem too. Playing football, and I was the only girl on my football team. I was actually one of the only 2 girls in my football league. So that's a whole athletic roughnecks.
Shout out to the other girl.
Who I never saw, by the way. I just don't want to assume, but it was like a rumor, but I never saw her. But everybody knew me because they was gunning for me. I was targeted on the field. It was not a game. I talk about that in the book too. I have 2 chapters about football.
Just in case y'all don't know, book is out May 7th. May 7th.
Yeah. So I always used to, see my guys in fights and being ruthless and having nicknames like Reckless and Menace and
What is your wrestling name?
My wrestling.
Oh yeah, because look, come on, what's the wrestling name?
All right, so I'll give you twofold. The first, when I did my first show, my trainer, he's from the old school. So if y'all know old school wrestling, y'all know those type of names for the girls. He named me Wild Lady Amelia.
Okay.
Old school name.
Okay.
Wild Lady. But I came out with Cheetah Prince.
Oh, you was wild then.
I was a wild lady.
Okay.
Had my throw out.
Oh yeah.
Did a little bit of face paint.
Yeah.
Wild lady. Which I appreciate. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am a wild lady.
So how come wrestling can get you to do this character and the hip hop couldn't get you to pop them nails off?
Because that's apples and oranges. Come on now. We talking about, but you are making a good point. No, but you know what? I figured out why. I figured out the answer.
Why?
The main reason, and I never wanted to put this person on blast, but what I can say is the main reason why I turned down that Battle League opportunity, because again, I would have loved to be part of a Battle League, was because there were things going on with them business-wise that were questionable and that I didn't feel quite right about. And when I went to address them about it, I was not satisfied with their reply and their response to me. And I felt just on how they responded to me, especially for you aspiring anything out there, especially when you're doing contract negotiations or anything where you're considering an offer, how they respond to you and engage with you when you're in that contract state will tell you a lot about what the experience of doing business with them will be. And could be. So that was kind of a red flag for me, and it was just like, damn, I really wanted to do this, but it doesn't seem like you're really going to support me the way I would need to take this on a cross country remove the wig tour. Which would have been fire.
Yeah, that would have been fire.
And at the time there was no women in rap like battle leagues. It wasn't like that. So it would have been dope, but I'm still a firm believer that what's for me won't miss me.
Well, I'm gonna take it back to 2024.
Do that, sir.
Spin a block.
Do
One
that,
more
sir.
time. Come back around to her and approach her the right way, baby.
Huh? While we spinning the block, ciphers. You've been in ciphers.
Yes.
Who's somebody you want to get into a cipher?
Just be in the cipher with?
Y'all in the cipher. Let's make it like this, cause let's make it. Name 3 rappers that you would do a cipher with right now. Just you and your 3 rappers you want to do a cipher with.
That you want to do a cipher with.
The first name is mad easy. Pharaoh Monch.
Okay.
Pharaoh Monch. Let's tear this down.
Okay, one.
Let's tear this down.
Okay.
Let's take him to English class, my brother. Pharaoh Monch for sure. Let's take it to the ladies' side.
I'll take it to the ladies' side.
Of course, there's so many nice women in hip hop.
Yeah.
Too bad you only could get one.
No, she can get two.
I
She
got
said
two.
three.
Okay,
You got
yeah,
three.
you're right.
You gave
You
her
get two
three.
women.
So she
I'm
said
being a little
Pharaoh.
biased. My bad.
Pharaoh Monch. Pretty controversial. I'm gonna say Remy Ma.
Remy, okay. Yeah. Remy, okay.
Remy Ma. Oh, okay. And let's go ahead and honor the battle rap roots we've highlighted here. And I'm gonna throw in Loaded Lux.
Nice, nice.
Loaded
Shout out to Loaded Lux, Remy Ma, and Pharaoh Monch.
That sounds like something that could happen.
That's a lock and load.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Of course.
Amen.
Because I mean, I'm not a big battle rap guy, but I've seen battle rap, and I've seen it Loaded Lux, and of course I know Remy. You know what I'm saying? And Pharaoh is one of the, like he's just one of the dopest. You know what I mean? So that would be a nice crew.
Thank you.
That would be a nice crew to go.
That was a nice selection right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was art.
Man, all I know
that's a nice thought.
Wrestling. Okay.
Yeah, man.
You know why? My cousin, she had a guy friend that was in wrestling, and he was a short guy. So I was like, "Yo, you wrestle?" He was like, "Yeah, he be
gotta be strategic,
walking around the ropes and all this other stuff."
Yeah, as a short guy.
I was like, "Oh," I said, "Yo, this is a skill." Like people sit down and they misunderstand that. Yes, you know what I'm saying. It might be choreographed at certain points to make sure that people don't get hurt. It might be, but there are hell of a athletes.
Yes.
Like
yes.
And some of the stuff they do, I don't think I would even have, what they say, kahunas. I don't think I have the kahunas to do. I'm not jumping off for nothing for nobody.
Going crazy now.
Yeah.
I only learned how to tuck and roll.
That, and you know what? That's the beauty of training with somebody like who's from the old school, like Johnny Rods, where not only is he, so keen on safety and fundamentals, but he came into it with judo and boxing. So a lot of the stuff you learn how to do first is like judo rolls, where you're learning how to break your fall. You're learning how to protect yourself. But just in case anybody doesn't realize, everything hurts in wrestling. Like, if you ever want to have the wrestling is fake debate with me, actually the 2 chapters in my book are titled "The Real World is Faker Than Wrestling." So check those chapters out. But if anybody has that mistaken, everything about wrestling hurts. The ropes hurt. The corners hurt. Rolling on the mat hurts. Hitting the mat hurts. Being flung into the rope and back hurts. And then you're actually making contact with who you're facing, and even when you're training. So it's not a trampoline. It's not a mattress. There's a little give to it, of course, so you're not breaking your back. But people do break bones in the ring. I have bruises from trying to jump over the rope and failing a bunch of times. Yesterday, I attempted to do leg drops from off the ropes for the first time. And before they let me do it on a human, they let me do it on a heavy bag. But that's like a 100, 200 pound.
We happy you made it today.
And see, but
that's when you need an Advil, cuz.
Exactly.
You need an Advil.
And it's like, you have to love it, because if you don't love it, this is not the sport for you, because it hurts. Just like the boxers, we are literally throwing ourselves into mats and fists and body parts to train, and to build up our own repertoire of how we want to fight, and the extension of who we are as people and then as in the ring. And it's not easy. There's a lot of stuff that has nothing choreographed, that has nothing scripted, and you are literally in there putting together a fight in the ring. Nobody's telling you what to do. You have to come up with that on your own. The same way you come up with a sentence in a rhyme, you have to piece together, okay, this is where I'm going to punch. This is where I'm going to kick. Duck. Okay, back elbow. Okay, run, stay still. Come down with the elbow. Get the submission hold them there so you can breathe. It's real.
No thank you. No thank you.
So, but the awesome thing too is like the hip hop culture and wrestling culture have been coming this
for years.
For years now, and it's really beautiful to see.
Listen, even when before, because you got your John Cena's, they put him in there.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? You had your Rocks. You had, you had your Superfly Snookers. You had, so all of those guys, even back then, had a lot of the cultural hip hop inspiration. There were so many it was so many people. You go on and on. So, but besides that,
yes, sir.
I want to ask you the name of the book.
Yes.
Y'all not gonna make me lose my mind.
Y'all not gonna make me lose my mind.
Yeah.
Shout out to DMX, the spirit of DMX. I'm loving that. By choosing this title, I get to keep his legacy going.
Yes.
And his energy going.
Yeah. So DMX.
DMX
energy.
DMX energy. And I have a chapter named after him, and I talk a bit about him and his story in the book too, because he was a big inspiration to my life, and he was one of the first people that I really registered as talking about mental health, like from hip hop culture. And also someone who I heard Bun B talk about this too, about like the B side of life or the B side of the game. Like there's so much aspirational rap out there that talks about the money we want and the houses we want and where we want to be in life and who we want to have a lifestyle with, but not so many people talk about what it takes to get there. And when business isn't going right, what's going on, and when you lose money, what that's like, and when you get sent up, what that's like, when you come home, what that's like, when you lose family and friends, what's that like, when you're having internal battles, what's that like, when you're battling addictions, what's that like. So DMX was one of the people who I saw was like so unabashedly unafraid to put that out there, but still have the wit and the roar and the fire to make it not like corny and clinical, to say it crudely. But so
I was about to balk, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it out.
It's so funny
I don't even want to imitate that.
It's so funny you say that, because that's how the chapter on him in the book ends. Is there's a spiritual community of like Hinduism and some of the Eastern religions that talk about this thing called prana energy. It's like life force energy. And there was a quote I read that some of them believe that energy can also be summed up as the bark of a dog. And I thought that's such an amazing intersection of hip hop, again, being everywhere and in everything, because as many know, DMX's spirit animal was the dog. He's seen so much, like with dogs so much, and has so many like heartfelt stories about the energy of dogs.
One Love Boomer.
Yeah.
One Love Boomer.
Just such a pure soul, and somebody who really gave us something special. And me being not normal, or how you say, me being
about normal. Who's
normal? What is normal? Me being different is like, the subtitle of the book is Hip Hop Unicorn, and it's like I was so uncomfortable with being different for so much of my young life, like so uncomfortable, to the point where the Malcolm X quote, "Who taught you how to hate yourself?" He said that in 1962. We're seeing ripples of that today, and
2024 again.
Who taught you how to hate yourself? It's so ingrained and so easy, and I think even more so for young women, because so much of our value is placed on what we look like, and who we're able to attract. And so if you're not of whatever that standard is or whatever that template is, you're other. And that can be very uncomfortable, especially when you're coming of age and don't have a good head on your shoulders, but also don't have a firm idea of who you are, and maybe not a spiritual relationship or just a higher minded consciousness about things. And that can happen at any age. There's a lot of grown women that I've experienced and that I see that are still struggling with that, and some who have just abandoned that journey altogether. They don't even care, and that's not just women, that's people in general. So I'm really happy that one, because I don't even know if we ever touched on the fact that the book is centered around surviving a suicide attempt.
No, we
And
didn't.
yeah, so the subtitle of the book is No Trauma, Hip Hop, Unicorn, and Suicide Survivor. I'm a suicide attempt survivor. And I was miserable with life as a teenager. Yeah. So many things had happened already. If y'all don't mind me saying, by the time I was already 14, 15, I had been raped, molested multiple times. Like I said, my parents' marriage just was destroyed, and they had a horrible and bitter divorce that lasted years. So I'm watching my immediate family just crumble. The rest of my entire family is still in Uganda. I'm an only child, so I don't have a
support.
I have a disconnect. Yeah, I have a disconnected sense of family. And then I'm like putting a family together through these groups and everything. But there's some things that you can't substitute, you know. Yeah. So I was seeing a lot of that B side of life. And in being and growing up with all these different types of people, not only am I growing up fast, which a lot of people in New York, that's our reality. We have to grow up fast.
Or the city will eat you up.
Or the city will eat you up. So there's that happening. And then because we have all these different lifestyles commingling in close quarters, we're seeing what's going on with not just the teachers and the lawyers, but with the pimps and the dealers. And we're seeing this firsthand as children growing on up. They're not only people in our neighborhood, they're some of our friends. Yeah. They're some of our family. Sometimes they're our mentors. Sometimes thank God they was there, because they was the ones to put some knowledge into us. And that happened with me. So this is like, again, to full circle with DMX, this is like praising what of the street energy is very positive and constructive, and that we should continue forward, especially in learning how to control our own culture and economy and community.
Yes.
How you doing, sis?
So now, with that being said, do you go talk at, for suicide prevention? Because I'm sure that has to be something that, that's something like anything else. It's part of you.
Yeah.
That's part of you. So yeah, it may have happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm healing and dealing with it. But, you know what I'm saying? That's part of it. So, I always have to give back. Like, so not for nothing. The Stoop is just a place where this ain't an interview. You know what I'm saying? This is what we did. We always got together on the Stoop and chopped it up and talked and, talked about
classic New York.
Anything, like right now, the goddamn Knicks is losing. Yeah. So, we talking
That's
about
classic New York.
Yeah, right. Traditional.
I'm gonna drop an elbow on you.
I dare you. I dare you.
These knees ain't gonna let me do it. These knees ain't gonna let me do it. Because I gotta get away from her. I'm gonna have to run or jump. I'm gonna have to run and jump. But but
I'll take that elbow. I don't know if you can take it. I'm gonna come back.
She like us. I'm coming back with something. Nah. I ain't fucking with you. But but what I was saying, like, do you do the prevention talks? Yes. And because I'm sure there's so many youth.
Yes, especially.
Yeah,
right now, the leading cause of death in the United States of young people is suicide. And the numbers have only gotten higher with the pandemic. Actually, the numbers for suicide across all ages and all demographics since the pandemic have all risen. So, and suicide is something that is a taboo topic in a lot of spaces, but in the Black community too. Yeah. A lot of us come from religious families, and so it's seen as like anti-spiritual. It's like you don't appreciate the gift of life that God gave you. Why would you want to take it away? But this is also why in the beginning of the book, before I even talk about anything and bring up any of my stories, the first section is a myths, definitions, and reality section where I break down the questions of like, are people who commit suicide weak? Are they selfish? What does it mean? How does it happen? Because the reality is that a lot of people who do it or consider doing it think about how they would affect other people. And that plays a huge factor into it. But what happens is when somebody is considering doing that to themselves, they've already experienced a a detachment in their social connections and how they comprehend the life around them. So they might consider their family and friends, but they may feel that their family and friends would be better off without them, that they're a burden to those that love them. And so it makes it the decision easier. So these are things that we don't, that get lost because we don't talk about it. So
which we need to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's the power of what we're doing and taking the control, and me writing this book and somebody like a Pharaoh Monch saying, I want to pen something to that too. And he talks about his experiences with mental health as well, because it's like, we got to talk about it and use things like the power of hip hop to normalize the talk so that we can maybe prevent somebody else.
Thank you for pinning that to the stoop right here, because we needed that. We're gonna get this message out far as possible.
Yes, because I mean, you know, like you said, we grew up in these neighborhoods, so we got to see the pimps, we got to see the pushers, and a lot of those people were immediates to your. They were immediates to your family. They were immediates with your friends, your mentors. So what happens is, you know, I think that everybody, especially black folks, and I'm not just saying black folks, I'm talking about black and brown. I'm talking about people of minority. Think that people that have gotten marginalized in this America think you're due mental health. And I think that, you know, I hear them talking about, you know, reparations and things like that. I hear them talking about that. But I think that if you ain't got the mind right,
you took it right out of my brain.
You know,
if your mind is not right, it doesn't matter the money. There are rich, wealthy people committing suicide.
Yes.
You know, so if the mind isn't right, and sometimes it's not you, but it's the environment you're in. But if you don't have the mind of how you can change that environment or move yourself to a different one, you won't get there. So these are things that will help us move into the next level, because as y'all talked about, if we don't change, if you don't change for you in your life, who's gonna do that? Who's gonna break the cycle?
Who's gonna break the cycle?
You know,
which is important.
Is hip hop gonna make, if hip hop does make it, will but let's say hip hop for some reason was staggering to make it to the next 50 years, what would it look like if we never took that control, if we never spoke about the things we need to spoke about, like, yo, let's have a meeting with us, you know, or let me just do what I need to do in my life and with those closest to me, you know, because you can't leave these things up to corporate and
they're not going to do it.
No, absolutely not. In fact, we're more valuable being weak-minded, being disconnected from ourselves, being at each other's throats, being, well, I don't need you, and I don't need nobody, and trust nobody. We're more valuable in a state of tension and disconnect and dysfunction than we are healthy and constructive and prosperous and creative.
Well, you said a long time ago, we're not outnumbered.
No.
We're not outnumbered.
Talk about that.
We just, you know what I'm saying? We just need to get better organized.
That's why we got to fight against them AIs. We don't need no AI spoken music for us or none of that. That right there should be totally against. That's a whole different ball game.
But they said the only AI we recognize is Allen Iverson.
Right, the answer.
Exactly.
The answer.
Yeah.
So that's one step we hip hop need to make sure and get up on right now. That right there is a no.
Now, you know, we gotta sit down and give props to you know, Miss Hendrix. You know,
Maisha.
You know, we gotta. You know, Maisha was like, "Yo, let's make this happen." And it so happened we had Milk here, and she was like, "Yo," she reached out like, "Yo, we need to pull up."
Yeah, we reached out like, "Yo,
what up? Pull up." You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So you know what I mean. And it's great timing because you know the book is coming out May 7th.
May 7th.
You know what I'm saying?
Pre-orders available.
That's
now.
right. If just in case you ain't know, and we also got something for you because you know, we appreciate your book.
Yeah, that hip hop. We want you to. They go Polygon, baby.
Yeah, hip hop.
We want you to sign our book.
Yo, oh my God, I would love
to. But we got something for, because you know.
They go that color. They go that color.
We're hip hop. We're hip hop.
They go that color.
So, you know, just for those people that don't know, it's hip hop for the win. You know, and you've been representing, and you're gonna keep representing. This is what you do. This is who you are. So you know what I'm saying. We want you to keep winning, and anytime you want,
Pull up.
pull up, pull up. You know what I'm saying. We right here on the stoop. This, you know, this ain't no, you know.
That's some
Come
food for
chop it
thoughts.
up.
In
Yeah.
case that's some food for thoughts right
Yes, yes, yes. In the food
Thank
back,
you
you know,
so
people they always like, yo, what you
What
got?
is
you
that?
got? What you got?
You know. So
No, I didn't even expect that.
oh,
Thank
please.
you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
the
you.
word.
Oh, I'm gonna wear that with pride and a
Huh?
new set of bamboo earrings. So I will have two
Two
pairs.
pair.
Yeah, just in case he don't know.
Word.
But yeah, we want to say thank you for coming through.
And once again, baby.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yo,
Emily, tell them where they can find you at.
Where they can find you at, and the book.
Yes, just look up Emily MC M.C. And I'm on Instagram, all the platforms actually. Amelia is Emily. The website is ameliaotto.com.
Yes.
Yo, get this book.
Get this book. Look at this book.
And you know, Pharaoh
Mind.
Yo, man, like, yo, what's up? That was, you know, hip hop, baby. That's hip hop.
That was your invitation too.
Yeah.
That was your
Yo,
If
invitation
you didn't
too.
get it, if
Pharaoh,
you didn't
yo,
get yours,
come on over
Come on,
here
Queens.
and step on and sit on the
Word.
stoop with us. Let's chop it up, baby.
have a Queens Brooklyn connection.
Huh? The
Once
BQE,
again, baby.
You know what it is.
Catch me on the stoop.
237. No
No
place
place
like
like home.
home.